Over the years, open-world games have been a huge asset to the gaming world, taking players out of the linear curve of storytelling and exploration into one where there's more freedom and depth. Open-world games have revolutionized the way we look at games, as most games from specific genres currently opt out of scenario-based gameplay into a more fluid, choose-your-adventure type. The open-world influenza spread over to compact devices as well, adding a further dimension to video games. Now, although mobile video games have been around for quite a while now, there have been major modifications to what you can do with your handheld devices, allowing bigger, better and brighter games. With the sheer number of open world titles on mobile, it's sure going to be difficult to rank them, hence this list isn't in any specific order. Here's a look at the 10 best mobile open world games. Baldurs Gate is a legendary PC RPG from the 2000s that has fans from literally every corner of the world. Its enhanced edition is a port of the game for mobile devices. Along with a complex storyline and a massive world to explore and run around in, the faithful recreation of this classic plays almost exactly like how it's supposed to, the original. Recommended for larger screens since the UI can get a little dodgy, this RPG is an incredible experience for old players and new ones too. Like many mobile games, the devs have included in-app purchases, only for a variety of voice packs, while everything else seems to be intact. Another great thing about the enhanced version is that they've included all the DLCs that came with the original game, which is always a neat addition. There haven't been any updates to the game since 2018, but the developers from various reports say that there are plans for a large patch that could come through sometime soon, so fingers crossed on that one.
That your mother always told you. Show her she was wrong as you rub your magnificent home into existence with a build mode so convenient you'll have time to give her a call.
Crashlands is a game that holds true to its word when it comes to an open world. I mean, the experience is candidly open world. Crashlands is an adventure game with RPG elements as players are stranded on a planet and must retrieve packages that were promised to be delivered. With over 500 items to craft, a whole bunch more to find, and an expansive world to explore, this game definitely has a lot to do. Players will even get to build their own bases and tame creatures that are scattered across the world. Another super cool thing about this game is that it has cloud access, allowing you to save progress and proceed across platforms, so if you need to change your device, there's not much to worry about. This game will have you playing for hours on end. It's currently free to play on Android. The name Frostborn kind of gives away what the game has in store for players. If you're into the whole Norse Viking thing, then you'll probably love this one. As an open world game, Frostborn identifies and delivers some of the best systems and mechanics on mobile platforms. It's a blend of several games, most prominently RPG and survival elements, while also being true to its multiplayer flavor. Players assume the role of a Viking hero and reassemble their friends to rebuild the great Viking nations after Midgard was overrun by the undead. With the power of the gods and a keen eye on your settlements, will you be able to achieve what you've set out to do? Everybody knows Minecraft, don't they? It's easily one of the most popular games out there. It's a real testament to how much of an open world can exist in one go. Minecraft's about the creativity and freedom that players get, a true sandbox. There aren't many games out there that can trump Minecraft in customizations and modularities. I mean, the game is gigantic, with so many things to do and see that it takes players years to even just scratch the surface of it. The mobile game isn't free, of course, since the PC and console counterparts weren't free either, but that's perfectly fine looking at the sheer number of things you can do in the game. The mobile edition is just about the same, adding all the features that we get to see on bigger platforms, including the multiplayer and all of its goodness.
I got some bullets for you!
Even though people really think this is some sort of Red Dead Redemption gimmick, this game does have a lot going for itself. Six Guns Gang Showdown provides probably a rough yet solemn representation of the legendary Rockstar franchise. Now, don't get me wrong here, it is a great game and it's inspired by one of the greatest. A more appropriate approach would be to call this a GTA mobile game, but set in the Wild West. It's got the basics right. You get to be a cowboy gunslinger in the Wild West and all the goodness that comes with being one. You get to roam around on your horse and take down bandits the good old-fashioned way. Game has a great storyline and is free to play. Another game that's quite similar to Grand Theft Auto is Mad Out 2 Big City Online. It's got all the features any good open world game would have, and all of this comes in a sleek mobile multiplayer package. You get to steal cars, shoot people, and explore a vast open world all from your handheld. There's a lot you can do in this game, and one great feature is its racing elements that are clearly inspired by a host of racing games that you've probably played before in the past. From customizing your cars to racing people and a whole load more, the racing elements of the game are pretty refined. Players get over 40 cars, lots of missions, and up to 100 players on a map at once. It is a pretty good experience, and although it doesn't live up to the actual GTA game, let's be realistic, there aren't many that do that anyway. Yet another game that's taken massive inspiration from the GTA franchise is Gangstar Vegas. Although the game looks a tad bit better than San Andreas, the essentials of what you can do remain the same. Gangstar Vegas is definitely not a complete copy of the game, but it's pretty close to how it plays out. The difference is probably that it's a game that's made solely for the mobile platform, catering to more casual players, especially when you think about some of the absolutely annoying missions Vice City and San Andreas had. Gangstar Vegas has a similar story as well, where it's all about controlling territory and going from rags to riches.
See you around like a donut, Carl.
Officer Pendlebury's down. We'll be right over.
See you, Hernandez.
Oh shit, here we go again.
There aren't many better open world games than GTA San Andreas. It's earned its legendary status as one of the best, and you really can't complain about anything in the game other than that pathetically annoying all you had to do was follow the damn train CJ mission. I mean, that still gives me nightmares. San Andreas is one of the few games that's been ported to mobile devices, and we're so glad it did. Although visually the game hasn't aged very well, the story, gameplay and attractions it brings to the table are a thing of beauty. For players who haven't played the game, it'll definitely keep you busy for weeks on end. There isn't much that can go wrong with the port of San Andreas after all. It's a revolutionary game that's inspired hundreds or even thousands of games that came after. The Ark franchise is known for its expansive open worlds, full of things to do, places to see, and stuff to find and build. The Survival Evolved port onto mobile devices is a great addition for mobile gamers because they get a fair share of what the Ark franchise is all about. Being the king of the hill will always shine through as a good reason to play a video game, and Ark Survival Evolved is just one of those. Players get to do whatever they feel like on a dinosaur-filled island, competing with other players to prove who the best is. Even though Ark's a demanding game, with the crazy upgrades in mobile devices right now, Ark is now wonderfully ported onto handhelds. Even though the graphics aren't on par with the console and PC versions, the gameplay of the original still remains the same in the port. The game is perfect for players looking for that survival edge. If you haven't heard of Genshin Impact and you've heard about The Legend of Zelda, then you might not be able to tell the difference. Okay, so this might be an exaggeration because it isn't that similar, but Genshin Impact is one of the most Breath of the Wild inspired games out there right now. The game's easily one of the most successful ones at the moment, with over 8.9 million players currently playing. The expansive open world is something that people should really be talking about. It took its inspiration from Breath of the Wild and turned it into a fierce open world action RPG with several interesting characters and twists in its storyline. Players first start in the world of Dervath after a strange god exiled them. Even though it's the kind of free-to-play RPG that compels people into spending hundreds of dollars to make their character better, that isn't necessarily a bad thing. When you do play free-to-play games, there are always going to be in-game purchases, and it just depends on if you want to find your resources in the world, which will take time, or if you just want to buy them. The choice is yours. That's a real-life RPG moment right there. Which open world games do you like the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this list, consider subscribing to Gaming Region and hitting that like button. You've got no idea how much that would definitely help us. As always, see you in the next one.